Everybody, here I am. Today's video, this is not for views, this is for education and that, because I said 15 years ago to people that you need to watch your kids. A lot of predators out there, and I see it on YouTube and other places. That's getting worse and worse. Today is the Kentucky judge situation. I'm going to tell you what I know, stuff like that. It's a very sad situation. I have to say that these are still allegations and that, but I am 95% sure what I'm going to tell you is what happened. This is not by social media news. It's by what went on and other information, because I used to work for Homeland Security, so I know a lot of the stuff. And if people watch my stream, which is now taken down, I was the first one to find Gabby Petito. I told them where the FBI was looking and the situation with Rich P, and I told him that he was dying, and like, well, how do you know that? I said, I got the information, trust me. Anyway, without further ado, today I'm going to teach you guys some stuff. This is not a political video. So here's what happened. About 26 hours. Okay, 26 hours after I heard about this on the news, or the guy passed away, I knew what went on, but I didn't say nothing. Okay, 2 days after, my friend called me and told me what happened. I didn't say anything about it, but he told me exactly what happened. And that was the scariest part right there. So I'm going to go through the legal stuff on this and all that. But first, the news says, like, we're going to talk about the news right now. You got to be very careful, because they want to do things for mainly views and stuff like that. So what they're going to do is keep you in suspense. They're not going to tell you everything right away. They said the guy just went in there, the sheriff just went in there and shot the judge. I don't think so. A sheriff is not going to go in there and just shoot up the judge for whatever reason, okay? Anyway, let's go ahead and go through this. The news will keep views, suspense, and they'll add a little bit at a time. So, from what was stated, I think it was like 2022, there was a lawsuit. Here's the lawsuit papers on the sheriff. Here's a star. The bailiff. I think that's how you spell it. I forgot. It's a BALIFF. And this came from a woman who was an inmate. Okay. And then you got the judge right here. He's got his little gown. This is Kevin Mullins. I do not know if he knew that what was going on in his chambers. I don't know if he knew about it or not. I'm suspecting he did, because it claims that the bailiff, let me tell you what happened. What happened was the bailiff and the inmate met, from what I understand, okay? She could not afford her ankle bracelet, so the bailiff said, okay, we'll waive the fees if you have sex with me. So these two, the bailiff, the inmate, had sex in the court chambers. That's the hammer, okay? His chambers is what the news says, or actually I should say sources. So, of course, the inmate, which was a woman, filed the lawsuit, not only on a bailiff, filed the lawsuit on the sheriff. Now, sheriff had nothing to do with this. He did the proper thing. He investigated it. He fired the bailiff, okay? The bailiff is gone. But she filed a lawsuit on the sheriff. Sheriff had nothing to do with it. Now, he is somewhat responsible if he doesn't investigate it right. But the sheriff here is getting a double whammy. Okay, and I'm going to explain here in a minute. That's what went on a couple years ago, and that's the lawsuit. They're saying it's the lawsuit, it's the lawsuit. Well, that could be a little part of it, because from what I understand, the judge right here has the key to his chambers maybe some staff member. I'm not sure. I do not know if the bailiff here is considered a staff member or not. And they don't have cameras back there, is what they said. Okay. So anyway, here it is, 2024. What do we know what happened? Well, first of all, we know there was a shooting in the chambers by the sheriff. Okay. There was a shooting. Sheriff went in there and shot the judge. That kind of sounds unusual. The other thing they said is that maybe a couple hours before this shooting has occurred, okay, the judge right here, the sheriff, you got the star right here, they met with each other and they had lunch, okay, just before this happened. Now, here's the other part. If you notice on the news, it claims also a couple hours later, you had the sheriff, okay, got my funny looking star, and you had the little girl in the cop car. They were mouth lipping, I shot the sheriff. Now, the news kind of makes it look like, this proves this and that, and this is what they were doing. That's not a big deal. People lip sync. I don't, because I think it's stupid, but people lip sync, and he says having a good time with his daughter, okay? Now, after that came the text messages from the phone, from the sheriff to the judge. And from what I understand, the judge didn't want to talk to the sheriff, so that's when the sheriff went in and killed the judge. And we're going to go over this on a legal standpoint. Like I said, these are all allegations. They are investigating it, but I am 95% sure this is what happened. The judge, of course, I'm not with the judge. I'm not in their chambers and stuff. The judge, my opinion, I have to say that, had some type of sexual relationship with the sheriff's daughter. Okay? So, let me go ahead and erase this. Okay, now we're going to do it from a legal standpoint here, okay? So let me teach you guys some. I'm going to tell you exactly what's going to happen. Okay, so without reading, I didn't read, not reading Kentucky law, because I don't have time to do it. I'm going to tell you what I basically think is going to happen and what I'm sure the law states. The sheriff right here, okay, that's a funny looking star, being charged with first-degree murder. Okay, that's what it says. As of Tuesday, he is going back to court. I think it's October 1st. I think it's called a preliminary hearing. Now remember, everyone, I always tell people, never come up with conclusions till you hear everything. They're automatically thinking that the sheriff's at fault for this. We don't know, okay? I do pretty much know. He's being charged with first-degree murder, which is a very serious offense here. Now remember, I didn't read Kentucky law. Under murder, I'm sure it says you got to plan it, have time to think about it. I forgot what it's called. And you carry it out the action. So we'll just draw the little gun. Nice little gun, ain't it? Okay. That's, again, without reading Kentucky law, that's usually most states on first-degree murder. Okay, so the sheriff right here is in prison. He pleaded not guilty. Here's the star. He said, I'm not guilty or innocent, whatever it is, okay? Here's what I think is going to happen, and this is how I know that the judge was doing something wrong with the daughter. Okay, so anyway, Here's what I think is going to happen. They moved it to another county to have a fair trial, stuff like that. But under first degree murder, if I'm correct, depending on what it is, I think you could get life. I don't know. It's either with or without parole. Without parole. Worst, people don't know this. Kentucky's got the death penalty, okay? Death. I was going to make a short about this, but if you notice, next year, 2025, a little bit off the ropes here, Ohio is going to have all kinds of executions because for a couple years they stopped it because of the drugs weren't working or something. Now they got some new drugs that would definitely kill them, is what they say. So 2025, 2026, you're going to see Ohio with a bunch of executions going on. Lethal, okay? Anyway, back with the sheriff. Death. Death penalty. That's what he's facing. But here's the problem. First of all, it shouldn't be first degree murder. I believe that would be considered second degree. So I think what's going to happen is they're going to downsize that charge because I don't think it's first degree. The second thing they're going to look at is, why did he go in there and kill him? Here's the judge right here. Well, the little girl, okay? That changes the whole narrative or the story of the situation. Okay, he didn't just run in there and shoot the man to shoot him because he's some gangbanger or something. Okay? That's if it's true, a sexual relationship between these two. He did something to her. I'm sure about that. Because remember, I used to work for Homeland Security. I know how to get my information. Okay, so I could be wrong again without reading the law. I think second degree is like 15 to 30 years, if I'm right. Each state's different. But what I am almost 100% sure about this. The sheriff is going to have jury. He's not going to go by judge because this becomes a big problem. If it's true that the judge and the kid were, doing their thing, the jury's going to see that and they're going to be, wait a minute. You know something? Me, myself, personally, I don't blame the sheriff for shooting that judge. When you find out your kid is being molested by somebody, you're going to want to kill him. You have no business touching a kid. And if you know the UFC fighter, the United Fighting Championship, Kane, that's what he did. He went out and he was trying to kill someone for touching this kid. Okay? I don't know what's going on with that. It's been over a year. I think he was on $1 million bond. First it was no bond. Now it's $1 million bond. I haven't heard anything since. So if this is true, I don't blame the sheriff doing what he did. Okay? So I think what's going to happen, it's going to be a second degree murder, or it could be even something lower. I don't know what's lower, maybe third degree or some type of manslaughter. He is going to get punished for shooting that judge, but they're going to lessen up the penalty or the jail time served because of what that judge did, or I should say supposedly did, to the kid. So he's definitely, so look for this. He's going to go in front of a jury. I'm sure they're going to downsize the murder charge, second degree or third. I haven't read the Kentucky books, or some type of manslaughter. Maybe 10 years in jail is what I'm thinking. Because this is very serious when you touch, the guy's daughter. I'd be like, screw the law. I'm going to kill that fucker. Because if you look on YouTube and everything, look at all these predators they're catching. It's sick. Got no business ever putting your hands on a kid sexually. And this is what's going on. I see tons of it. So, anyway, remember, I do have an accounting and business law degree. I'm pretty sure this is what's going to happen. Second degree murder, or it's going to go down. He's looking at the death penalty. I don't think he's going to get the death penalty or life. So what you want to do is wait for a little bit. The courts are going to, do their thing. If you notice too, the biggest thing, the sheriff did not resign. Why should he resign? He didn't do anything. He said, I ain't going to resign. I didn't do anything wrong. It's that damn judge. Okay? That's another behavioral trait. So now, these things of, why the hell did he go in and shoot the judge? Now, after that is said, all the puzzles fit. Everything falls in place perfectly. So, that's what I know. As I say, I'm about 95% sure the judge did something to his little kid. Wait until they come out. Definitely, the Kentucky State Patrol is really investigating this. The bad part is I've been seeing a lot of cops lately being caught, or former cops being caught as a pedophile or predator. Now we got the judge involved. First time I heard of a judge actually use the word accused judge putting his hands sexually on a kid. That is a no-no. So, with all that said, that's all I have for you people. So this is the legal information I got without reading the state law. Give it some time. The sheriff's going to, of course, I don't blame him, he's going to claim his innocence. I'm going to say he's pretty much innocent. You don't put your hands on a little kid. Okay, with all that said, I hope you guys enjoy it. My lights looks a little bit better. Maybe I'll place it there. But, right there, that's what you got. So, there's your information. Again, I don't know what happened in those chambers. They're investigating. I'm sure he did something to the sheriff's daughter. It really points out that way. Like I said, I don't get my information from the news or social media. I get it through other ways. Very verified sources. So with that said, let's see what comes out. And the reason I'm saying this is don't be shocked if you find out the judge did something to that sheriff's daughter. Anyway, that's the law I'm going to give you. If anything new comes out, I don't think it will. I think this is we're going to be looking at pretty much. I'll let you guys know. So with that said, goodbye.